Hi, my name is Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you about a book I'm currently reading, SQUIRRELFLIGHT'S Hope. This book is part of the Warrior Cat series, a well-known franchise written by Erin Hunter, a group of writers from the UK. This will be a long video since I have to explain plenty of context before I even start to summarize the actual events of this particular book. I will make sure to add subtitles on screen so it's easier to follow for everyone, and I might as well include satirical and goofy animations of some scenes from the book that I found to be funny or just plain important to the plot. I hope to enjoy this video as much as I enjoyed reading this book. Let's begin. As I said in the introduction, we need to know the context and status quo in the Warrior Cat universe to comprehend the events in SQUIRRELFLIGHT'S Hope. The Warrior series focuses on the lives of a huge group of cats that live in the forest, around the lake. They are divided in 5 clans, which are like cat colonies from real life. These clans are Thunder Clan, River Clan, Shadow Clan, Sky Clan, and Wind Clan. Thunder Clan is usually the most important one, like Gryffindor in Harry Potter. Let's say that Thunder Clan is the protagonist. They are meant to be the good guys. Clans have a bunch of roles that a cat can have, and their own terminology to describe them. First off, kittens are called kits. A kit is a cat that is younger than 6 months, or moons as they call them. The mothers of the kits that take care of them are called queens. Queens are usually just female cats, although there has been one single male cat that has taken this role. Despite the queen role being almost exclusively a she-cat thing, any cat can be an apprentice or warrior. An apprentice is a cat that is learning to be a warrior, and a warrior is an adult cat that hunts prey for the clan, fights enemies that might try to damage their clanmates, and so on. Cats can also be medicine cats. They also start out as apprentices and train to become the role they want to be when they are adults, but they learn how to use plants to cure illnesses or treat wounds. Medicine cats have more tasks that are almost exclusively unique to them, but I'll touch on that later. Each clan has a leader, which always has the suffix star. They have 9 lives, which means that they must die 9 different times in order to actually pass away. Last but not least, there's the elders. As the name may imply, these are older warriors, medicine cats, deputies, queens, or even leaders that are too elderly to continue to carry on with their clan duties, so they're retired until they pass away. The clan cats call outsiders rogues or loners. They like to call house cats kitty pets. It's kind of a derogatory term. And let's just say they aren't too friendly or respectful towards cats that aren't clan-born. The clan cats worship their warrior ancestors, called Star Clan. It's their only religion. It's almost like Christianism from real life. When a cat dies, they may go to Star Clan, but they go to another place sometimes if they've been evil. This place is known as the Dark Forest, also called the Place of No Stars. It's basically cat hell. Most cats can't communicate with Star Clan or the Dark Forest, although there's many exceptions. Some normal cats have special connections with the afterlife, but usually only leaders and medicine cats have the luxury of speaking with Star Clan. Star Clan isn't that easy to understand when you are able to speak with them though. The prophecies they send are pretty hard to decipher. Cats can also remain as lonely ghosts in their normal world instead of going to the afterlife, but those scenarios are rather uncommon. Each moon, all 5 clans go to a gathering together to share news and discuss any issues between other clans and stuff like that. You may feel overwhelmed after all of this information, but this is essential in order to understand what's going to happen in SQUIRRELFLIGHT'S Hope. I might as well warn you that there are many weird names within our cast of characters. I'll introduce you to the ones that will play important roles in this story. Bear with me, this is gonna be interesting. So first of all, we have our one and only protagonist, SQUIRRELFLIGHT. She is Thunder Clan's deputy, a brave and rather irreverent or even sassy she-cat. She is a fan favorite and object of discourse within the Warrior Cats fandom because of her personality and some past events that happened in the second saga. She always stands up for herself and for what she believes in, is always willing to help others and follow her heart no matter what she's going through. She will go through lots of turmoil in this book. Then we also have Bramblestar. Her mate, he is complicated, kind of brash and stern, but can also be loyal to his clan and a strong leader. I personally don't like this character very much, but I will try to stay as neutral as possible. Spoiler alert, I couldn't. Lots of things will happen between him and SQUIRRELFLIGHT in this book. Sparkpelt and Idleheart are their children. Sparkpelt is a strong and spunky warrior, and her brother is a medicine cat that used to be anxious and nervous constantly. Sparkpelt will take a more important role than her brother regarding SQUIRRELFLIGHT'S arc in the book. Moonlight and the sisters are some nomadic rogue cats near ThunderClan territory that will spark lots of conflict and almost cause a war between the clans. They are based off real-life cat colonies and seem to also have some spiritual connections with their ancestors, just like clan cats. There are some other characters that may serve as plot points rather than have any greater relevance, which is pretty common in warrior cats, such as Larksong, Tigerstar, Leafstar, and Leafpool. Larksong is Sparkpelt's awesome mate, soon to be a father. Tigerstar is ShadowClan's leader, Leafstar is SkyClan's leader, and finally Leafpool is SQUIRRELFLIGHT'S sister and will serve as her counselor whenever SQUIRRELFLIGHT feels distressed because of clan conflict or Bramblestar's abusive behavior towards her. Yeah, this story may get a little dark before you realize. Having said that, let's head into the meat and potatoes of this video, the summary of the book. ThunderClan goes to the gathering, and tensions seem to be high between the clans. This is because SkyClan used to not be near the other 4 clans some time back, so now they have yet to discuss the new territories for SkyClan and how that may affect the rest of the clans. SQUIRRELFLIGHT and Bramblestar had a small argument on the way there because SQUIRRELFLIGHT would like to have kittens again with Bramblestar, but he doesn't want to, which is okay. When they are returning home after the gathering, Bramblestar berates SQUIRRELFLIGHT because she had a different idea than him when discussing territory stuff with the rest of the leaders. SQUIRRELFLIGHT feels very sad. SQUIRRELFLIGHT speaks with Leafpool, her sister, about her argument with Bramblestar and the other leaders. She comes to the conclusion that she should go behind Bramblestar's back and speak with the SkyClan leader, Leafstar, by herself. She goes to SkyClan's camp to speak with Leafstar and search for new territory together. Leafstar agrees to search for new territories with SQUIRRELFLIGHT, so they go for a long walk together. They indeed find a beautiful place where cats could live, not so far away from the other clans. Suddenly, a group of rogues surround them. These cats that have ambushed them are a group of adult she-cats and young toms, which are called the sisters. They are nomadic, but aren't moving from this temporary place they've established as their home until Moonlight has had her kittens, since she is pregnant and cannot travel too far. Moonlight is kind of the leader of the sisters, I guess. SQUIRRELFLIGHT and Leafstar seem baffled to see how different the sisters' way of living is. The group of cats tell them that they won't be letting them go just yet, that they'll be keeping them hostage until their clanmates come looking for them all the way up there. The clan cats spent a couple of days at the sisters' camp. They are being fed properly and getting to know this cat's culture better. It turns out the sisters exile their male kittens once they've reached sexual maturity at 6 months, which is usually not old enough to be an adult cat, and let the she-cat stay. Apparently, the Earth and the sisters have a special spiritual connection and guides toms on their journey to independence. This is based on real cat colonies. They see this whole ritual taking action with Stone and Grass, 2 young toms. The 2 clan cats are absolutely flabbergasted and appalled by all this, and Leafstar tries to escape during the night, but one of the adult she-cats stops her from getting away, injuring her leg. A rescue party comes to the sisters' camp. Acting aggressively and angry towards these rogues, SQUIRRELFLIGHT assures them that it's alright. These cats had been pretty respectful and civil towards them despite having kept them hostage, but Leafstar's leg wound said otherwise. When they are walking back to the ThunderClan camp, Bramblestar argues with SQUIRRELFLIGHT and yells at her, telling her how irresponsible this was of her to do, comparing her to a reckless apprentice. It seems that Bramblestar doesn't like it when SQUIRRELFLIGHT, his deputy, doesn't obey every single order, even if she has ideas for fixing important issues between the clans. He gives her a huge punishment. He prohibits her from making her own decisions as deputy. From now on, she'd have to run every decision by him, and always be supervised by a clanmate. This may be obvious by now, but SQUIRRELFLIGHT is in an abusive relationship. I will delve deeper into this point later when I talk about my opinions and what I took from this book. Just keep that in mind, it's gonna be a recurring issue. And now, a scene from Squirrelflight's Hope, Chapter 7, page 106.
Squirrelflight.
Bramblestar.
Who do you plan on send on dawn patrol tomorrow?
I haven't decided yet. Bramblestar is angry and climbs onto a rock.
I thought I asked you to let me know in advance of any decisions you make as deputy.
I never decide who's going on patrol until the morning. I like to see who is awake. It's no use waking another warrior when another one is already itching to get out into the forest. But oh no! Bramblestar has no concept of what improvisation or logic means, so he says,
That's sloppy. A warrior should know if he's going on patrol and be ready. From now on, I want to know who's going out on dawn patrol the night before.
This is just ridiculous and a stupid rule he made up to prove his power over her. And so, she responds accordingly. But she is the bad one in this situation according to the leader, because he's a moron. They keep arguing, but Sparkpelt shows up just to tell them that she's pregnant. Squirrelflight is happy for her, but feels kinda sad because she wishes she could have her own litter. Bramblestar correctly assumed what Squirrelflight was thinking, and tries to sympathize with Squirrelflight. She lashes out at him and walks away, quickly feeling guilty about it. She seeks her sister, Leafball, for comfort. They go out into the forest together to have more privacy while they talk. Leafball understands Squirrelflight's sadness due to Sparkpelt having kittens, but not having kids of her own. Leafball isn't quite sure how to deal with Bramblestar. He's her leader after all. It's hard to question him, so she tries to justify his behavior. Squirrelflight feels a little better and relaxed after talking with her sister. Squirrelflight is out in a hunting patrol with Sparkpelt and some other clanmates from Thunder Clan. They encounter Snow, a she-cat from the sisters, and she tells them she came here looking for help. Apparently, her friend Sunrise was hurt by a Shadow Clan cat. They take the wounded cat and her friends into their camp to help them, but Bramblestar tells Squirrelflight he doesn't know if they should help them. He believes it may cause conflict with other clans, so he tells the medicine cats to go ask Star Clan if they should help Sunrise. The clan waits for the medicine cats to come back, and Squirrelflight tries to convince Bramblestar in the meantime. But he is sternly denying Squirrelflight's ideas and beliefs, as always, because he thinks helping Sunrise may spark conflict with Tigerstar, because the sisters wandered into his territory before getting wounded by Shadow Clan cats. Squirrelflight feels powerless and angry, because Sunrise may die because of petty clan politics. Sparkpelt tries to mediate between them, but her babies kick her. Bramblestar keeps being angry at Squirrel some more, and then Squirrelflight is left alone with Sparkpelt. The medicine cats come back, but StarClan's message is unclear, so they don't know what to do. Squirrelflight and Bramblestar argue once again. The whole clan argues. Bramblestar guilt trips Squirrelflight and blames her for the whole problem with the sisters. He says,
We can't keep doing this. If you keep undermining my authority, you could destroy the whole clan.
Yeah, as if the clan depends on Squirrelflight agreeing with everything the leader says, being the second in command. Finally, the leader lets the healers cure Sunrise, but not without blaming Squirrelflight for the clan's problems. The clan goes to the clan gathering, since it's already been a moon since the last one. Tigerstar is angry because it turns out that the sisters attacked a Shadow Clan warrior in self-defense a while ago, and ended up wounding his hearing and is no longer able to hear anything. Thunder Clan decides that the refugees should leave to avoid trouble with Tigerstar. Squirrelflight tells the sisters that they have to leave now. They get back to their home safely. Moonlight tells Squirrelflight that all of the sisters can see spirits walking around them, and seems to find the clan's ways of communicating with their ancestors a little strange. Squirrelflight returns home. Tensions are high with Wind Clan now as well, it seems. Squirrelflight comes back with some prey, and Bramblestar and her argue again. This is starting to get old, but oh well. They go to talk to Wind Clan to discuss some stuff and try to ease communication between the clans. It's no use. The borders stay the same, so the problem stays the same, but they've gained something. Some time for the sisters to leave before Wind Clan tries to take some of their territory. Squirrelflight almost tells Sparkpelt about her feelings of wanting kids again, but a kind of sick lark song bursts into the nursery. He starts being all cute and an awesome soon-to-be dad, and then he suddenly falls to the ground and stops breathing. I'm not even joking here. It's literally how it plays out. Leafpool discovers that he has a weird disease that they have never ever seen before. None of the three medicine cats. His heart is beating at least. Squirrelflight thinks he must have eaten something funny, maybe rotten prey. But the clan starts to gossip and the rumor spreads around. A Shadow Clan cat must have poisoned their food. Sparkbelt is absolutely devastated and anxiously pacing around. I mean, I'd be the same or worse if my partner was about to die, so I can't blame her. The medicine cats and Squirrelflight decide to go for a little peek in Shadow Clan to passive-aggressively ask them if they had poisoned their food. I mean, they obviously didn't ask them that straight up, but yeah. Oh, almost forgot! Bramblestar and Squirrelflight argued before going to Shadow Clan. On the way back, Squirrelf is worrying she may have upset God, but it's fine, God doesn't care. The medicine cats check the carcasses of some prey that Larksong could have eaten a part of before getting sick, but everything seems unsuspicious. Squirrelflight is tired and just immediately fears she may have the same sickness as Larksong, but she doesn't, so it's fine. Uh-oh, but something's wrong! It's not that bad. Sparkbelt is sick, like Larksong. Oh no! The cats wonder what the sickness might be. Squirrelflight visits the sisters again to find out if they had the sickness too. Of course, none of them are sick. Moonlight asks about the symptoms, and then the sisters recognize the sickness. The sisters tell the clan cats that this sickness is caused by a plant, meadow saffron, that is eaten by mice. This causes the poisoning we saw earlier. The sisters know this thanks to their ancestors. They tell the clan cats how to cure it, and the clan cats sprint back home. Larksong seems to have gotten worse, but Sparkbelt is just snoozing. They begin to treat Larksong how the sisters instructed them in order to cure him, but he starts to have a seizure before they can cure him. Larksong is very still. They are all very understandably sad, especially Sparkbelt. Squirrelflight asks her to eat the antidote, but she is sad, so she doesn't wanna. And then guess what? She goes into labor. My brother in Christ, this book is wild, I love it. She gives birth to a little male kitten and a she-kid. Oh yeah, and another male one, but he is born dead. Oops. Larksong is barely alive, just to see his children being born. That's adorable, to be honest. Squirrelflight doesn't tell Sparkbelt that one of her sons was born dead. She plans on telling her later. Larksong finally dies. They sit vigil for Larksong and the dead kid. The whole clan is gossiping, saying that this is the sister's fault. Spoiler alert, it isn't. Oh my god, are you ready? Because it's time for Squirrelflight and Bramblestar arguing again! If you took a shot for each time these two argue in the book, you'd end up in a coma for alcohol overdose. Bramblestar accuses Squirrelflight of not respecting the clans because she respects the sisters' culture. This is just plain ridiculous. They sent a patrol to the sisters' camp once again to check on them and ask them when they are leaving. Also, Sparkbelt is really devastated and doesn't even want to give names to their children. She's too hurt. The patrol tells the sisters about their loss, and they request doing a ceremony in the name of Larksong and the dead kid. They start performing a ritual, chanting, "Safe journey, kid," over and over. Blossomfall executes her xenophobia, insulting their ritual. The sisters end their ceremony, honoring the dead cats. Squirrel is happy and thanks them. Leafpool and Squirrelfy are out in the woods, sharing a fresh sparrow they just caught, and having a nice sister chit-chat.
Have you talked to Bramblestar yet? It's not easy. Why not? He's your mate. What if I ask him about kids and he still doesn't want them as much as I do? Or I ask him about the sisters and he says they have to leave. I know he's still angry that I went off and found them in the first place. I'm sure he thinks it's my fault the clans are fighting. The clans are always fighting. I guess. But this time Bramblestar brings me. Are you sure? I'm not sure of anything right now. Why don't you ask him? It might make things worse. Will they get better if you keep quiet? Maybe.
Yeah, poor Squirrelfy. She is in a really bad relationship with Bramblestar, and even Leafpool can tell. Squirrelflight isn't looking forward to this next gathering. It's been another moon, and at the gathering, all clans are really tense and they argue angrily, shouting and growling, considering waging war on the sisters. They finally just decide to send Tree, a former loner and member of the sisters a long time ago, along with some cats to tell the sisters to please leave. Oh, and Bramblestar tells SQUIRRELFLIGHT to shut the hell up when she tried to speak in front of everyone. The morning after they visit the sisters aren't too pleased to see Tree back there. Tree tries to convince Moonlight that the sisters must move on or they face the clan's rage, but she is stubborn and won't change her mind. The sisters aren't moving. They tell the other clans about the sisters' decision, and they are raging with anger. Bramblestar takes this chance to blame SQUIRRELFLIGHT for all of these issues. In addition to this, Bramblestar seems to not even care about SQUIRRELFLIGHT's opinion anymore. Bramblestar gives her the cold shoulder on their way back home, which, by the way, this is a really common tactic used by emotional abusers. SQUIRRELFLIGHT feels like if she had done something to hurt Bramblestar. Blah blah, organizing a patrol to go scare the sisters, blah blah blah, argument between these two again, blah blah blah. Oh, but all these horrible acts and words of manipulation and abuse mean nothing after all, because he just says, "I love you," and it's all fixed. Hell yeah, let's go guys, my favorite ship in the whole Warrior saga. The next bit of the book is a long and tense sequence where a battle patrol goes to scare off the sisters, then they come back, then they go to the sisters' camp again, and then SQUIRRELFLIGHT, Moonlight and Leafpool end up together inside a cave, and they are trapped. Suddenly, there's a landslide inside the cave, and the three of them die. Or, well, that's what we thought. Apparently, SQUIRRELFLIGHT can come back to life. Not Leafpool and Moonlight though, those losers stay dead. It's a bit sad to see Leafpool in Starkland. I never thought she would die. Also, this is completely off the train tracks, but Alderheart is said to be forming his forehead while trying to treat SQUIRRELFLIGHT's body so that she doesn't die, so cats can canonically scowl in the Warrior Cats universe. That's absolutely adorable, I love this, oh my god. SQUIRRELFLIGHT and Leafpool see their deceased loved ones while they are in Starkland. Leafpool's estranged daughter, Hollyleaf, SQUIRRELFLIGHT's unborn kids, Dandelion Kid and Juniper Kid, their father, Firestar, but whoa, what's going on? It seems they have to go on a freaking trial before they can even decide if they want to go to Starkland and actually die? Oh god. Starkland. So, quick addendum here to understand why this is happening. Some years ago in ThunderClan, Leafpool had kids, which is forbidden because she is a medicine cat and they aren't allowed to have children. So, SQUIRRELFLIGHT adopted them, in part because Starkland cats forced her to and told her she was barren, which was a lie. They kept it a secret, which was later revealed by Hollyleaf in a fit of rage. That's why they are in trial, because of Starkland itself. They're considering to sentence them to cat hell for the rest of eternity because of something that was forced upon them by Starkland itself? These are all just senseless mind games, I can't believe this. Back on track. They win the trial, thank goodness. And then they roam around Starkland for a bit with Firestar. Remember, SQUIRRELFLIGHT may survive, but Alderheart is still taking care of her body. She is in a coma-like state. A while later, she finally comes back to living, and something strange happens. Suddenly, out of seemingly nowhere, Bramblestar is being all sweet and extra caring. He whimpers to Alderheart about how much he loved her, and oh, how could he have forgotten how much he loved her? Yeah, sure, it's awesome that you remembered now that she's dead. Huh? Well, she comes back to life and he is overjoyed to see that his victim is still alive and that he can keep abusing her. Of course, this is not explicitly said in the text because that would be plain silly, but we can see the obvious behavior of an abuser. After this landslide, the sisters decide to leave and SkyClan moves to their new territory. Bramblestar and SQUIRRELFLIGHT make up and everything's fine again. Sure. Now, heading into my opinion. As if this summary wasn't opinionated at all. I recommend you read this book. It is such a good example of how an abusive relationship feels, from the perspective of the victim. It is kind of scary how difficult it is to tell when Bramblestar is actually being abusive because it is so close to reality. He chooses his words carefully as to not sound explicitly wrong. You could always give him the benefit of the doubt, I guess. It's painfully realistic, even for warrior cats. Moreover, SQUIRRELFLIGHT isn't a perfect victim. Because of her spunky and headstrong personality, she doesn't back down, at least not at first, and stands up for herself when Bramblestar abuses her. This follows the cycle of abuse. When they had kids, they went through a calm phase. When SQUIRRELFLIGHT does something Bramblestar finds to be upsetting, there's a notable tension. He then punishes her unfairly, treats her like a child, and all of that by using his power over her and her life, to lash out with his anger and treat her badly because he feels like he must do it. Then it is all apparently solved by a crisis that makes them value each other again, and they make up. Then it all repeats all over again. I'd go deeper into this, but I feel like you get my point. Leaving this aside, I really love the characterization and the pacing. You can really feel the political tension in the story, how unfair it is, and feel pity for the sisters, even if they dragged it a little bit at the end. Talking about the sisters, I really love them. Their addition to the book makes the difference, and it makes you see the wrongdoings of the clans that aren't highlighted as often. I think their way of life is very interesting, and leaving the weird and animalistic sexism aside, they are very nice to read about. Their culture is cute, I think. So cute. The StarClan trial scene is absolutely outrageous, out of place, and nonsensical. StarClan encouraged them to break the law, I mean, warrior code, as they call it, and now they are punishing them because of that? What the actual Jesus Christ riding a bicycle is this? Also, the whole thing with Larksong, that broke my heart into tiny little pieces. I just kept putting myself in Sparkbell's situation, and it made me feel so sad for her. Oh man, if my partner was sick, I would be so worried. And if he died right when I had our children, man, that's just emotional damage, hit right in the feels. So yeah, it may be a weird book and a bit of nonsense at times, melodrama, you know, but I pretty much liked it. You should give it a read sometime. You'll enjoy the experience. That was all I had to say about SQUIRRELFLIGHT'S Hope. I'm sorry if I got like a little too shouty or ranty sometimes. I don't know, it's my opinion in the end. And yeah, now it's your turn to read the book and find out for yourself if you like it or not. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye!